Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Paul Chamberlain, the Air Force guy, here at the campground, and here to bring you the latest RV update for June of 2021. But before I do that, let me kind of give a shout out to a couple people that are in the house already. We got Chuck Ash, first one in the house. Appreciate you joining us here. NW, she's in the house. I'm thinking that's Natalie. I think she changed her just went to initials. Bucky Crab is in the house, and then I'm going to mess this one up big time. Zygmunt, and I'm not even going to try to pronounce that last name, but appreciate you all coming in the house here. I want to start off first by giving a shout out. I was traveling through the campground the other night and happened to come across another channel in the campground. Unfortunately, of course, I recognized that they were here. I'll just call you Ziggy. There we go. I recognized them being in the campground about a day before they were leaving. So got to spend a little bit of time with them last night, and we kind of chatted. Of course, we got rained on a little bit, but that wasn't not a big deal. But they were heading up to New York today. But the guys I met were from Compass Rhodes. It's spelled Roadz. But I got a link to their channel down below. These are two retired United States Air Force guys. They were in they were over in England. They were a couple of different places we kind of talked about. One was dealing with weapons. The other was dealing more in services. But we had a nice conversation about the good old Air Force days and how things were going with that. And they have a channel. They're kind of showing people the adventures they're having while they're traveling. One of the videos that they said that, and I want to get a chance to watch it, is that when they were in Texas last year and they were traveling, they could see the polar vortex as they were getting ready to drive into it. And they did a video on that. That's going to be probably a pretty cool video to watch. But I'll tell you what, the stories they had about that, I'll tell you, there's a lot of people, even that had four-season campers, that I'll tell you what, when you're camping like that, you're going to have some issues. And they did. They had a few. So we had Brian Matthews in the house here. Appreciate you joining us. And Wayne Kern up there in Bel Air. Appreciate you coming in. So anyway, so check out their channel, see if it's anything that might be interesting to you. Next, I want to go ahead and get into the RV industry updates. Tell you, for most of you, you might be familiar that 2022 models are hitting a lot. But like many, many places, you're going to be finding out that these things are sold out. So now, keep in mind, let me just kind of give you, for instance, of what's happening where I'm at Beckley's Camping Center. We have roughly, I would say, probably 200 units that are in stock that you can see. Now, of those 200 that are in stock, might be 150 that are new, and then 50 that are pre-owned. Now, let's back up and look at something else too. Of the 50 that are pre-owned, you might be lucky to see 20 to 30 of them that are available. Of the 150 that are in stock, you're lucky between the ones that are there for display purposes only, which means we're not selling them, or B, they're already sold, waiting to be picked up. We have maybe 70 that are available. Compared to that to last year, we're less than half of what we had last year. Now, last year we had roughly 100 coming in every month. But the difference this year, we still have about 100 coming in every month, but 60 to 70 of those are already sold. So if you're in the market for an RV, understand that you could be waiting a month, 2 months. There's some, depending on the manufacturers, there's some manufacturers, you're waiting upwards of 18 months to get a camper. Now, fortunately, we don't sell those campers, but There are some of those. Thor Industries just a few days ago announced that they have $14 billion in back orders, and that's for over the next year. Now, keep in mind when they're saying they have orders, understand that's coming from the dealers. That doesn't necessarily mean that all of those are sold to. They're not all retail sold. These are actually dealers that are buying these units. Something you need to be concerned. You need to consider if you are ordering an RV is understand that there's some of these manufacturers. If you order something today, you are not price protected. Now, what companies are those typically? Typically, it's your Thor, your Forest River. They are not price protecting you. I can tell you from the ones that we deal with, and we deal with Thor and also with Forest River. They do not price protect. So, but our Newmar, if you're ordering Newmar, they will price protect you once you place the order. Put your name on it. Grand Design is doing the same thing, and also Winnebago. But I can tell you right now, when you're looking at price increases, here is how crazy it is getting. We just had a Newmar rep in a week ago, and he was talking about how when they're having shipping containers coming over from overseas, it used to cost, just the cost to have the shipping container come in was $4,000 a year ago. Today, that same container, just the cost of shipping. We're not talking about the cost of the materials that are in the container. We're just talking about the cost to ship it. Today, you're talking about $12,000 just for the shipping. So, just to give you kind of an idea of what we're up against, and that's on top of all the other things that we're getting hit with on price increases, and I'm sure that's what's affecting everything across the board. I mean, shipping's going up, uh, materials are going up, cost to manufacture things are going up, and the hard thing you're running up against, what's creating some of this, is the fact that there's a number of people out there that aren't willing to work, and so the cost to pay employees or pay people to work, that is going up as well. So hopefully that gives you a little bit of idea what's going on. I can tell you now, I'm out camping, and I know for those of you that want to get out there and camp, if you're trying to get a campsite, your best bet is to try to camp Sunday through Thursday. I can tell you from the campgrounds that I have seen or been in during the week, Sunday through Thursday, there's plenty of availability. Now, here's something you need to be consider if you're trying to book a campsite. If you are dealing with a campground that is, let's say it's owned by a company that owns multiple campgrounds, make sure that when you call and you're trying to make a reservation, make sure that you're dealing with the people that are on site. Ask them that question. Say, are you on site? Because if they're not, I can tell you this happened last year. It's happening this year. You're being told that they're booked up, and they're not. There's plenty of campsites available. So make sure you're dealing with that. Now, I know the state parks, forget about it. Weekends, you're probably not going to find any availability until probably November. Maybe not even that right now. Maybe that's even booked up even more on that. But there's a lot of, national parks. Again, depending on the national park, you might not be able to get in there either on weekends. So Sunday through Thursdays are the best times to try and get campsites. Let me see who else is in the house here. And of course, let's see here. So we have, I'm going to mess that one up. I'm just going to say, is it Lucien? He says, hi, Jonas. And then, of course, Terry Matthews is in the house. Terry, I hope your knees are doing well. Hope you're back up functioning halfway anyway. I know it'll be a little ways before you're back to normal. Now, with all these increases in people buying RVs. The prediction is this summer, there's going to be 56 million people looking to go out camping. 56 million. Now that's up from, I think it was something in the 40 million last year. And then next year, it is estimated you're going to have over 65 million people trying to camp. So that's going to be putting a lot of strain on these campgrounds and the availability of them. So make sure you plan early and plan often. That's for sure. Stephen Weber shows up. He's from down there in Charlotte. Appreciate you coming in here this evening. Thank you much. You look at how many campgrounds are out there. I don't know how many private campgrounds there are, but when you're looking at it from a state park standpoint, state parks have over 6,600 state parks that you can go camping at, and then over 400 national parks that you can camp at. I mean, that's a lot of camping that's available out there, and there's more and more new campgrounds opening up, giving you the availability to get out there and camp. But I can tell you, I know that this campground, we were out walking the dogs earlier today, and I noticed that they had a sign at the door going into the office that their golf cart rentals are sold out for this weekend. So that's another thing too. If you want to get around at some of these larger campgrounds, you might want to renting a golf cart or bringing your own. So, but anyway, I'm going to check and see, does anybody have any questions pertaining to the RV industry? Questions about campers and the like. I see we got 23 people in the house there this evening. Please do chime in. Let me know who's in the house. Let me know where you're from. Feel free to chat to others. You'll appreciate that. As I had mentioned earlier, I had got a chance to meet up with Compass Rhodes. They were here camping, and they're heading up to New York. Then they're heading up to Bar Harbor. And they were camping in a reflection of 303 RLS. It looks like wayfaring with the Weekses. Well, they're really not wayfaring anymore. They're going to come out with something different on that. Could only get in for one night. I think you're talking about here. What I'm thinking. We are in Indiana. Are you talking about the state park? Or are you talking about here? What are we talking about? I'm going to have to give you a call. We're going to have to catch up, figure out what's going on here. Maybe I can pull some strings for you. So, but for anybody that's going to be maybe in the Gettysburg area, please do reach out to me. Let's see if we can hook up, sit around a campfire, have a few drinks, and kind of have some conversation. Oh, in the state park. Yes, I'm telling you, it's tough. It's tough out there. You haven't booked Drummer Boy yet. Okay. Well, let me know when you do, or if you need help with that. Let's see what we got here. Wayne Kern, 24 in the chat, only 3 thumbs. I appreciate that, Wayne. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. I need to clean out some of that brush so we can. Oh, we need to clean out some more brush so we can pull our camper next year. Well, let me tell you what, I'm having a good old time clearing out some leaves and getting some of these tree stumps out. There's a small ones out of the way, but it's good. We're going to be raring to go here in no time. Let's see we have a question from Stephen Weber. With the increase in sales, do you expect increased delays in repair time schedules at dealers? Well, and that's always the case. Anytime you have more, it does delay it. But I can tell you that most dealers, what they're doing is they triage it, and they're looking at what the issue is. I think all too often people might have issues, and it's not something that's going to keep them from camping, and they want something fixed. And the thing is, if it's something that's not going to keep you from camping, just call the dealer, schedule it at the end of the season, and don't worry about it. Just kind of give you an idea. In our camper here, I've had the water heater leak. It was a quick fix. I just had to tighten up the valves. I've had the bathroom sink and the toilet leak. Now, with both of those, I had to go ahead and shut the water off, drain the water out of the line so that I would have no pressure. Just took them off and then reseated them. A lot of times it's just something a quick, easy fix. But yeah, you're going to see an increase in getting service at dealers. Now, the other thing you got to keep in mind too is, and dealers are we're at the mercy of the manufacturers. And you got to understand that the RV industry is not like the car industry, where you take your car in today and you need an alternator, and they're just going to go ahead and they have one in stock, and boom, they swap you out. They have you in and out, in a few hours. It doesn't happen that way in the RV industry. The RV industry, well, the way it happens, you got to bring your unit in, you got to inspect it, or troubleshoot it, figure out what's wrong. Then some things they do have in stock, little things like transfer switches, air conditioners, things like that. But what has to happen is, a lot of times the manufacturer wants to go ahead and ship the part out to them, and we're at their mercy for that. Now, then the next thing that happens, you're having a part shipped from the manufacturer to the RV dealer, and they ship the wrong part, or it shows up and it's broken. Those things happen, and you just got to, understand it. I think one of the biggest things that could help the RV industry is communication with the consumer pertaining to the repairs for their campers. So, well, Maureen, yes, that's a great question there. I appreciate you asking that. Maureen is in fixing our gourmet dinner. I think she's filming it, for her cooking channel. So, but I'll make sure I say hello to her. We were on Sunday nights. We started a new channel. I tried doing a live on our other channel, Living the Dream, and unfortunately, I needed 24 hours to get permission. So again, being a newbie at that, I didn't know that. A couple of the people have come in the house here. Let's see, we got Dreaming Out Loud RVing. Hey, appreciate you showing up here. And then Travels with the Ladies. I know you guys are out there traveling. See your trips and everything. Think you guys are having a great time out there. And hope to catch up with you here down the road. Let's see. Wayne Kern says we camp Thousand Trails, and their Gettysburg location is always tough to get. Well, I'll tell you what, right here at Drummer Boy, they're becoming a Thousand Trail. Remember, they're actually selling memberships here. When I was talking with Compass Road, that was Dan and Kevin last night, they stay, or they're actually using Thousand Trails, and they've stayed 106 nights since they started last. I think it was last, let's see, August timeframe, if I'm not mistaken. But they're enjoying it. They have the Thousand Trail where they're actually staying for free. But they're limited in the time, and they can't go from one encore to the next. There's some limitations, and I don't understand all that stuff. But and look who, there you go, Meredith. Look who's just coming in the background there. There she is. Maureen, Meredith would like to know the gourmet meal that you're cooking here this evening. I told her you're putting it on your cooking show. But anyway, so, but that was quite the thing. Let's see, we had somebody else come in here. Debbie Griffith, good to see you here this evening. And then Buckeye Crab, let's see, grab camping reservations at sold out cabins when cancellations have been made. Camp Nab is a campground reservation game changer. Oh, well, I need to look into that. Appreciate you mentioning that. Let's see, greetings from Florida. We're hoping to swing by your way in July, Paul. Oh, well, that's awesome. That'd be awesome. So you're down in Florida now. Tell you what, I hope you're liking the weather down there. I enjoy warmer weather, that's for sure. Awesome. So let's see what else we got going on here. RV underways in the house as well. There we go. So I'm just kind of checking, see what's going on in the chat there. So are there any other questions that you might have pertaining to RVs, camping, making reservations, where to go, things of that nature? We've got a lot of people in the house that can chime in as well. That's for sure. Let's see. Wayne is saying, I think you have to have a larger package with the Encore Park. Yep, the Zone Pass. You're right about that. Yeah, they were mentioning something about that as well. I don't know. I don't quite understand that. First time I even know. I thought, it was Thousand Trails. I thought you paid for a certain area, but they have one for, and then they bought different zones on top of the one that they had. So, but anyway, so appreciate everybody coming in here this evening. Let's see, we've been on for about 20 minutes here. Again, I just try to keep it short and sweet, to the point. But those of you out there, understand, if you're in the market for an RV, you're looking to upgrade or whatever, just understand it could be some time. I mean, we're getting lucky on some of these things because we have had things on order, but I have other people. I mean, I had somebody that ordered something back in November. It's still not there. Now we're thinking July. It was supposed to be in this month, and we're having delays because of parts. And matter of fact, in some of these, it could be cushions, could be an air conditioner, a water heater. I mean, it's some of the simplest things you would think that they wouldn't have an issue with, but they do. So, but I appreciate that, Meredith and Landon. Thank you very much. Um, but anyway, I hope the heck I gave you guys enough information pertaining to the RV industry, and hope I've answered all your questions. And we're going to be back at you again Sunday night on Living the Dream. And I'm going to bring you some new information. Went out, found my camera today, my GoPro and my drone. So we're going to be back at getting some new videos, footage up here in the near future, not just doing the live. So thanks again, everybody. And we will be catching up with you next week. Same channel, same time. Have a good one.